In today's Final Touch, a guy in Oregon decided to run all the way to a world record.
It's a case of mind over matter. That's what helped Mario Mendoza set a new treadmill world record at a high school in Bend, Oregon. In front of a packed school gym, Mendoza ran 50 kilometers, or about 31 miles, for nearly 3 hours at an average pace of 6 mile minutes, or about 10 miles an hour. Mendoza chose to break the world record at the school because of the school's diversity. Part of his goal was to promote fitness and inspire students at the school. Mendoza is a national trail running champion, and he's been USA's Trail Runner of the Year for 4 years. I'm tired just watching.
Congratulations to him. That's amazing.
News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, a reality check on the president's speech from last night where he mentioned an undocumented immigrant from Madison charged with sexual assault.
The latest on a bill that would make it easier to become a nurse in Wisconsin.
Plus, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has delivered the articles of impeachment to the United States Senate. We'll tell you what happens next.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And before we get to those headlines, this afternoon we saw some freezing drizzle that could impact your drive home.
Let's check the first alert forecast now with meteorologist Dave Caulfield. Dave?
Yeah, Susan and Eric, I was sliding around a bit as I was driving earlier this afternoon. The good news is we've seen a lot of the snow or freezing rain or drizzle wrap up as we get into the evening hours on Doppler track, really not showing anything. Madison on the Edgewater Skycam, we have the cloudy skies currently at 30 degrees with a northwest wind at 3 miles per hour. Those clouds still in town, and the visibilities are improving across the area. Still some areas where visibility is around 1 or 2 miles south and east of Madison. It does look like temperatures are a little bit above the freezing mark in those areas, though. So if we are seeing those areas having fog or mist, I think it won't be of the freezing variety, so that's good news. And 511 is reporting some good driving conditions on all of those major roads. Temperatures right now are in the 20s and 30s across the area, and wind chills are pretty close to what their thermometer is suggesting. So wind chills not a factor right now, but that will change in a big way as we get into tomorrow morning and off to a very cold start with temperatures in the single digits for tomorrow. Quick look at that first alert traffic update across Dane County. We are noticing the accident still on Highway 14 by Cross Plains. Otherwise, traffic is pretty normal out there and road conditions aren't too bad at the present time. That is your first alert traffic update.
All right, Dave, thank you. And just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center, court documents reveal a 17-year-old is suing the Baraboo School District, accusing them of ignoring racial harassment and discrimination targeted at her. That suit filed today in U.S. District Court also claims staff and administrators failed to respond to sexual assaults on school property. The teenager claims the harassment started when she was in first grade and continued through middle and high school. According to the documents, her mother worked at the district and on multiple occasions brought her concerns over students wearing the Confederate flag, frequently using the N-word, bullying her daughter, and for being black, and sexually assaulting her in class. We've reached out to Baraboo Superintendent for comment and will continue to update this story as it develops at Channel3000.com.
Within the past few minutes, the Senate has received the articles of impeachment after a nearly month-long standoff with the House of Representatives. Earlier, the House voted on a resolution to appoint 7 House managers who will act as prosecutors in the Senate trial. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Adam Schiff will be the lead manager. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi formally signed the articles in a ceremony within the last hour. The managers then walked a binder containing the articles to the Senate chamber.
Today, we will make history. When the managers walk down the hall, we'll cross a threshold in history, delivering articles of impeachment against the President of the United States for abuse of power and obstruction of the House. As we make that history, we will be making progress for the American people.
White House counsel Pat Cipollone will act as the lead attorney for President Trump in the Senate trial. U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts will preside.
Now, last night, President Trump, of course, came to Wisconsin. He mentioned Madison by name. He was talking about a case involving sexual assault and an undocumented immigrant being released and then reoffending in the city.
Our reality check investigation found this is mostly true. Our Amy Reed has this News 3 Now reality check.
Right here in Wisconsin, cities run by far-left politicians are releasing dangerous criminal aliens who abuse, assault, and threaten innocent children, your children.
President Donald Trump spent part of last night talking immigration, specifically claiming Madison law enforcement released an undocumented immigrant who committed sexual assault. Here's the claim.
In the city of Madison, police arrested an illegal alien for sexual assault. After authorities released him, he committed violent battery, only to be released one more time. They're looking for him again. Isn't that nice? So the same illegal alien was then arrested for a third time in September and charged with multiple sexual assaults, including sexual assault of a child.
Reality Check found this to be mostly true, but there are some pieces worth clarifying. This man, Luis Ugalde, was arrested in September on 7 counts, including charges of sexual assault of a child and attempted sexual assault of a child. He also had previous charges of battery. However, his first charge that Trump claims is incorrect. He was originally booked into the Dane County Jail for criminal damage to property and disorderly conduct, which he pleaded guilty to. The Dane County Sheriff's Office told us Immigration and Customs Enforcement asked for a hold on Luis Ugalde when he was booked in for battery, which the Sheriff's Office did not comply with. Sheriff Dave Mahoney has a policy that they won't hold anyone past when they would normally be allowed to leave, like after they post bail, and that's regardless of any ICE requests. He said the policy at the Dane County Jail states that in order for us to hold an inmate for ICE, ICE must provide us with a court order from a federal judge granting us the authority to honor the hold. If the documentation is not received, we will not hold someone past their court-ordered release date. Mahoney said he does tell ICE when that release date is. Now, we couldn't confirm with the Trump campaign that this is the person that they are talking about, but with most aspects of the case matching up with what the president claimed, we rule this to be mostly true. With this News 3 Now Reality Check, I'm Amy Reed.
And tonight at 6, Amy will look into other claims President Trump made about his impact on Wisconsin and the country during his time in office.
Well, very little change in the latest Marquette Law School poll when it comes to Wisconsin voters' opinions. Though President Trump's approval rating is now below 50% for the first time at 48%. The poll suggests he would lose hypothetical matchups with both Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders and defeat Elizabeth Warren and Pete Buttigieg. 800 registered voters were surveyed between January 8th and Sunday.
A veto by Governor Evers stands after a vote at the state capitol this afternoon. That veto applied to a bill that would have made it easier to become a nurse's aide in Wisconsin.
And Danica Lewis joins us now with more on those developments. Danica.
So right now, nurses' aides in this state need at least 120 hours of training. The federal requirement, though, is just 75 hours, and this bill would have lowered the standards to that federal mandate. Things got a little bit contentious on the Assembly floor today, where Republicans were poised to override this veto. Those Republicans say the bill would help facilities here compete with neighboring states with a reduced number of training hours. Democrats argue renewing the debate is a waste of time, and having less training would negatively impact quality of care.
What's more important, playing politics with your governor who made a bad choice, or standing with your constituents the skilled nursing home shortage that we know and have all talked about being there so that we can help the most vulnerable in our state?
You can reduce it, but what's going to get reduced? What's not going to be included? What are our loved ones not going to get in care? At the end of the day, the solution simply can't be to undermine the quality of care, and that's what this bill does.
So an override of a veto requires 2/3 majority in both houses. Today, that meant 66 votes. The number of votes, the same number, I should say, received back in May when it was approved and sent to the governor's desk. That did not happen today. In fact, the legislature has not successfully overturned a governor's veto since 1985.
Been a while. Danica Lewis reporting. Danica, thank you.
Sure.
President Trump and the Chinese vice premier signed the first phase of a new trade deal today, signaling the end of the trade war between the United States and China. Under the deal, China has agreed to buy $200 billion of U.S. goods, including soybeans and pork, over the next 2 years. Phase 1 of the deal leaves tariffs on about $360 billion in Chinese imports in place.
Together we are righting the wrongs of the past and delivering a future of economic justice and security for American workers, farmers, and families.
If we remove and eliminate tariffs on all the outstanding products, then the benefits will flow more directly to American consumers.
President Trump says he is confident China will live up to its end of the truce and plans to travel to Beijing in the near future to negotiate the next phase. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce says the average consumer won't see any changes in the cost of the items they buy that are made in China right away, but as tariffs are reduced, they will eventually see prices drop.
A road in Dane County remains closed following a two-vehicle crash in Black Earth. The Department of Transportation says the crash happened on Highway 14 at Call Road in Black Earth around 2:30 this afternoon. Deputies say the road has been blocked in both directions and injuries have been reported. The Department of Corrections says a Rock County sex offender has been released from prison. Officials say 58-year-old Richard Brange was released yesterday. Police say he was placed at 1216 Portland Avenue in Beloit, a temporary living placement location. He was convicted on 3 counts of child pornography and will remain on supervision until 2024. He is required to register with the Wisconsin Sex Offender Registry.
A silver alert has been issued for a missing McFarland man. Officials say 60-year-old James Clint was last seen leaving an assisted living center in McFarland Tuesday morning. Officials are concerned he may not be able to maintain his health without his medications. Anyone with information about Mr. Clint's location is asked to call the McFarland Police Department.
The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources and the Department of Health Services is recommending fish consumption advisories for some area bodies of water. A recent sampling of fish showed elevated types of PFAS in fish tissue and surface water in Starkweather Creek and Lake Monona. PFAS are a group of human-made chemicals that are used in numerous products, including nonstick cookware, fast food wrappers, and stain-resistant sprays. It is also found in types of firefighting foam, although the Madison Fire Department recently switched to foam without PFAS.
A Dane County park that hosts fishing events for veterans and those with disabilities will get a new accessible fishing pier. That's thanks to a $25,000 donation. The money will replace the existing ADA accessible fishing pier at Babcock County Park, which is located on the east side of Lake Wabeesa near the village of McFarland. The park offers fishing opportunities, a kayak landing and boat loading assistance station for people with all abilities. A resolution authorizing the $25,000 donation is expected to be approved by the county board in the coming weeks. Tonight, the public will get another chance to hear from a candidate for the Madison School Superintendent position. Dr. Matthew Gutierrez will speak at East High School. It's tonight, 6 o'clock. Last night, Dr. Marguerite Vanden Weingard, who is currently an assistant professor at St. Rose College in Albany, New York, spoke, and Dr. George Eric Thomas will speak at La Follette tomorrow.
You have a chance to meet the Badger women's hockey team tonight. They'll be at Vilas Park from 6 until 7. The event was originally set to be an outdoor skate, and that's been changed to a meet and greet because of ice conditions at the park. Fans will meet the team and Bucky Badger and receive autographs. Admission to the event tonight is free.
And Packer fans aren't the only ones excited about the championship game this weekend. Local bar and restaurant owners say they are seeing a big boost in business as well. After the holidays, business really tends to slow down for a lot of local watering holes, but having the Packers still playing now, winning the NFC North and now competing for the NFC Championship is helping keep what would be slower January weekends really packed.
If you want to get a table in the bar area or even a stool right up at the bar and not have to be in the dining room, where we also have TVs, you can still see the game, but it's just a little bit different in there. Definitely come before the game starts. We also have a hockey tournament in town this weekend, so we might be a little crazy busy with that too. So it always helps to make reservations. We take them anytime for any number of people.
And starting Friday, we will have team coverage. Melissa Kim, Adam Duxter from San Francisco ahead of the NFC Championship matchup between the Packers and the 49ers. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, government experts say 2019 was the second hottest year ever. What to expect in the years to come.
And coming up at 6, allegations about a Rock County superintendent's behavior are growing. We'll hear from a former employee who says he created a culture of fear.
And on Wall Street, midweek trading pushes the Dow over the 29,000 mark for the first time, adding 90.5. The NASDAQ gained 7. S&P 500 up a half a dozen. We'll be right back. The Tennessee National Guard tweeted about a lockdown at McGee-Tyson Air National Guard Base earlier today, but a federal law enforcement source says there was no active shooter. The source says the incident was caused by confusion during a drill at the base. Officials initially said the base was locked down because they had a report of a suspicious person with a rifle on base. There were no reports of any shots fired or injuries.
Search efforts are underway in Pakistan after avalanches, freezing temperatures, and flash flooding has killed dozens of people. At least 60 people are dead, and the toll is expected to rise, with many still missing. Much of the devastation is in Pakistan-controlled Kashmir, where heavy snow and rainfall triggered landslides and flooding. The military is using helicopters to evacuate people stranded in rural areas. Other choppers are dropping food and survival kits until more help arrives.
A just-released report from 2 government agencies finds the decade that just ended was the hottest ever recorded worldwide. New reports from NASA and NOAA finds it was 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit above average. The agencies also say the last 5 years, which have been plagued by wildfires and extreme weather, were the top 5 warmest on record, and the trend is expected to continue. CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Berardelli says we're at a critical point in the fight against climate change.
We're not over the edge yet. We're not past the point where we can't make a better life for ourselves in the future. If we wait too much longer, it is going to be too late.
In the U.S., 2019 was only the 34th warmest year on record, but there is reason for concern. Alaska had its warmest year ever. It was the first time the state's annual temperature was above freezing.
And Dave Caulfield has been looking at temperatures this winter. Dave?
Yeah, Susan, only one day so far in Madison have we had high temperatures that have been below normal. And today is part of the trend because once again, temperatures made it into the low 30s for highs in Madison and 36 in Milwaukee. 30 in Dubuque, a little bit colder, but not by much, up closer to Marshfield and La Crosse. DopplerTrack is showing another effect of the winter warming is a potential increase in freezing rain events, and we saw a little bit of freezing drizzle and freezing rain as expected this morning into the early afternoon, made things really slippery in some spots, even though not a lot of accumulation was observed. That's the trouble with freezing rain and drizzle. It doesn't take a lot, and sometimes it doesn't even show up on radar because it is so light, but that freezing drizzle and mist collects on surfaces and makes things pretty hazardous at times on the roadways. The good news is the trend has been going down as far as activity on radar is concerned, and I think that we are done with a lot of the freezing rain and drizzle, if not all of it, for the time being. Madison on the Edgewater Skycam looking at cloudy skies right now. Today's high of 32 is 5 degrees or so above normal for this time of year. And as far as our snowfall goes, today we picked up 0.3 inches of snow at the airport in Madison. So we're actually a little bit above where we should be for this time of the snow season, a little bit ahead of schedule by about 1 to 2 inches. Last year, we were at 9.7 inches, so barely 10 inches of snow. And we are a lot more in the positive for the snow department at this point compared to last year. We do have alert days in the forecast for some more snow potentially on the way Friday and Saturday. So snow developing Friday afternoon across southern Wisconsin. We could see some freezing rain and rain mixing late into early Saturday morning. Does look like travel impacts could be likely, especially as we get into later on Friday and early Saturday. Winter storm watches in effect for spots south and west of Madison. This is for Friday afternoon through Saturday afternoon. I expect these watches to be extended to the east as we get into tonight. It's just a timing issue. It does also look like at least moderate impacts for driving, walking, and clearing any potential snow as we get into Friday and Saturday as well. We'll have to continue to monitor our latest forecast models to see if major impacts are expected. Right now, it's sort of teetering on the edge. We'll continue to update you there. Definitely going to want to pay attention to the weather this weekend. FUTURETRACK showing a cold start tomorrow with temperatures in the single digits, even with plenty of sunshine tomorrow. Highs only in the mid-teens, and then another cold start on Friday before temperatures start to increase in advance of that snow coming in. So could feel like -10 to start off our Thursday, and then as we get into Friday and Saturday, we'll start off with the snow. A lot of the snow will fall Friday afternoon and evening. Then into early Saturday, we still need to watch the potential of some freezing rain or rain mixing in with that snow. That could cut down on snow totals. After the alert days Friday and Saturday, it just looks quiet and cold with temperatures in the teens for highs Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. At night, those temperatures could get close to 0 and even below 0 at times before some more snow possible by the end of next week. Now let's take a look at your first alert traffic update. Park Street and the Beltline, we're noticing some slow go in both directions at this point. Accident just popped up on the interstate by Wisconsin 30. Not seeing too many delays there, but we are seeing our normal friendly delays on the Beltline in both sides. 8 minutes right now westbound John Nolan to Verona Road with an average speed of around 30 miles per hour. And it'll cost you 26 minutes to traverse the Beltline from University Ave eastbound to the interstate with an average speed of around 35 miles per hour. And that is your first alert traffic update.
Thanks, Dave.
Coming up on News 3 Now at 5, if you're looking for a new career, we'll tell you which jobs are on the list for best occupations in America. That's after a short break. Tech jobs are dominating a new list of the best occupations in America.
And that trend is expected to continue. Hillary Lane has more.
Philip Thomas builds websites for companies across the nation. He works as a front-end engineer, which according to the job rating firm Glassdoor is the top job in America for 2020. It's based on job satisfaction, salary, and job openings.
It's rewarding because you get to build things that people use every day.
Last year, tech jobs were just 5 of the top 10. This year, for the first time ever, the top 7 jobs are in tech fields, including data scientist and software engineer.
Every company is a technology company in this day and age. So we're going to continue to see technology jobs reign at the top of the best jobs list.
The highest non-tech job on the list is a speech pathologist, coming in at number 8. Overall, the survey finds many healthcare jobs in the top 50.
There's always going to be a demand for people looking for medical attention.
But Glassdoor expects tech jobs will continue to grab the top slots in the years to come. Thomas says rightly so.
It has great pay, and you have location flexibility, time flexibility. And because it's such an in-demand job, people get treated really well in the industry.
At last check, Glassdoor says there are over 13,000 openings for front-end engineers nationwide. Hillary Lane, CBS News, New York.
And stay with us. We'll have another Check Your Forecast when we return.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, the next big step in the Senate impeachment trial of President Trump. Why what happens today could change the course of history. A major winter weather system is moving across the country tonight as parts of the South battle severe flooding. And we'll take you to America's #1 place to eat, and it doesn't even have tables. That's all tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And Dave's here with a final check of the weather.
We have some cold weather on the way tonight and tomorrow, so skies are clearing. We don't need to worry about freezing rain or drizzle, which is good news, but we do need to focus on those cold wind chills. Feeling like 10 below tomorrow morning in Madison, and a cold day overall with highs only in the teens, even with plenty of sunshine. Alert days in the forecast for Friday and Saturday. Snow develops Friday afternoon, lasts through all of Friday and into the first part of Saturday.
We'll have more updates in 30 minutes. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.